Ladies and gentlemen, our prayers have been answered. There's a new installment in the Boy Meets World universe, and it's called Girl Meets World on Disney. We've seen the pilot. Time to talk about it. I'm Greg Miller. This is the Pure One, Tim Gettys. And over there in the internet is Max Nicholson. How you doing, Max?
I'm doing well. How are you, Greg?
I'm excellent. I'm excited that Cory, Topanga, they're back. Mr. Feeny's doing stuff. I have a lot of questions about this, but let's start at the top. Max, you reviewed this episode for IGN. What did you think of it?
I liked it a lot. I thought it was like a good continual or a spiritual continuation of the show. It felt like a lot kind of like the season one sort of vibe of Boy Meets World. Definitely felt like kind of the pilot of Boy Meets World, and I thought, you know, it's more aimed at kids, but I think it's going to be a pretty good show if you're just hopping on the Boy Meets World bandwagon.
That was my thing when I started watching it. Like, I'm a huge Boy Meets World fan. You know this about me,
yes,
Tim.
Yes.
And so I started off, and it was just so... The first scene is so cheesy, and they're so trying to shoehorn in, and I'm all sitting there like, I don't know how I feel about this. And I'm like, well, I'm a 31-year-old adult. This probably isn't aimed at me.
Yeah, exactly. And I am a 24-year-old child. But I grew up with Boy Meets World, and watching this pilot, like, I felt that way a little bit. But then also I was like, this is not that bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's really not... I feel like people are going to jump to being like, oh, it's so kiddie. It's, like, not how it was. This is very similar, like Max said, to the original pilot.
Right. People, I think, forget, right, that throughout the Boy Meets World series, we grew with Cory, so the beginning was very boilerplate. I mean, Max, is that what your diagnosis is? Do you think if the show gets to keep going, they're going to get more and more mature?
Yeah, I think this is a show that's going to age with its audience, kind of like Boy Meets World did, the original show. Again, I think it's going to appeal to a new generation, and but it's also going to, you know, it has fan service in there for sure.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
What did you see for the fan
Well,
service?
there was a lot of little fan service. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is just the pacing of the episode was very Boy Meets World, like specifically old Boy Meets World, where there's the A storyline and the B storyline, and the whole she had to do a paper about the Civil War, and like she was having the Civil War at home and like all that stuff.
Yeah,
it was like. That is classic Boy Meets World. And at the end of it, here's a moral, guys.
Yeah.
And I love that they're still sticking to that. But for fan service, first off, we got the mom from Sister Sister.
What that caught me off guard. Of course, Jackie, we know from a thousand shows she was on, sitcoms from the 80s and 90s, but she was just on the train. Like, I didn't get what was happening.
Now, she wasn't officially the mom from Sister Sister, but I think that they casted that actress as kind of a nod. Because there was always this TGIF, Sister Sister, Boy Meets World crossover feel going on. So I liked that.
Okay. Max, what were you seeing in terms of like things trying to draw in the old men fans to watch this Disney Channel girl show?
Well, I think the biggest draw of the show, at least in the pilot, is Cory, right? He's kind of transitioned into being the mentor. He's sort of like he's kind of like a hybrid of Feeny and like Alan Matthews, the original dad in Boy Meets World. So he's pretty much in every scene of this pilot anyway. So I think he's going to be kind of a key figure in this. And like, while there will be the kid stuff, there was definitely, I mean, Cory had tons of one-liners in that first episode, and I'm guessing that's going to keep going into future episodes, right?
Yeah. You'd think so. And he was really good. I haven't seen Ben Savage in anything in forever. And he was like, awesome. Easily got right back into being Cory.
More fan service, though. Like, in the original, they went to John Adams High School. And now they're at John Adams Middle School.
Well, John Quincy Adams.
John Quincy Adams.
Yeah.
John, which is a nice touch.
In addition to that, though, in the original show, there was always this statue of his head in the school, and that same statue is now at the school.
Right.
I like that a lot.
Well, John Quincy Adams.
Yes, exactly.
They're making the same reference in a different thing.
So that's good. But the ultimate fan service, of course.
Yeah.
Mr. Feeny.
Yeah. Now, here's something I missed, and Max, maybe you can set me straight. There was these posters in the background in the subway that had Mr. Feeny saying, like, school's cool or whatever. In the finale of Boy Meets World, did he become the president? I don't remember this.
No, I don't. I thought that was a weird touch, too. I didn't know if, like, maybe after that he went on to do, like, you know, PSAs or something like that. But it does seem like he has some sort of weird kind of, like, celebrity presence in the town, wherever they are. I guess it's in New York. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't quite get that, and I also wasn't 100% sure if they were alluding to the fact that like he was a ghost, or if that was just like or if that was Cory's memory of him or something.
I think I went with the fact that he went into some kind of role where he is a popular celebrity, whatever, I don't know, Scholastic Book Club. Not dead, though. It was just that like, he looked over there and saw the poster that we had seen for so long, and then Cory had that little memory of it.
Exactly. For me, I actually think it's just completely breaking the fourth wall. Like, I don't think he's really a celebrity. I don't think that was really supposed to be a poster of Feeny. I think that was just for the fans.
Then I don't like that at all.
But because it's a pilot. Because this is the pilot episode, I think that was just a... Because when you first see the poster of him, it's kind of in the background.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, cameras on it, this is Feeny. It was just... I caught it and I was like, oh man, that's Feeny. I like that. That's awesome.
Sure.
Then they bring way more attention to it. I'm like, that's kind of weird. But then they show Feeny and I was like, okay, they shoved that down our throats, but that's something I want shoved down my throat, Greg.
Oh, okay, that's good. I'm glad. As opposed to what I usually shove down your throat. Max, in your review, you talked a little bit about this, right? We talked about Feeny being there. That's great. Ben Savage doing a great job as Cory. Topanga, it seemed criminally underused in this.
Yes.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know. She wasn't, I think she had maybe like a total of 6 lines in the pilot. But I'm guessing just because this episode was very much about the passing of the torch, right?
Yeah.
It's from Cory to his daughter. And I think I'm guessing even if it might even be the second episode where we get a more, Topanga-centric storyline. Because, she was, and especially since so many fans, guys like us growing up with it, I mean, she's kind of like a teen heartbop, right?
Oh,
She's
right.
sort of
Totally. We all fell in love with
childhood crush. So it seems weird that they wouldn't include her as much in this, but I bet we'll see more of her in the future for sure.
So then, where do we all come down on the new cast, these new kids they put out here, right?
Well, first off, I want to say Farkle, who is...
Comedy, thy name is Farkle.
Yeah, Stuart Minkus' son. I actually really like him for being the,
Real quick, pause. He's Minkus' son from the original. This was glossed over in the pilot, but Max, you were saying you found it on IMDb, you put it in your review.
Right, yeah.
That blew my mind.
And that's awesome, though.
Now I really want to see Minkus pop up.
I like it that he's going to.
He will. They've already said that Stuart Minkus is popping up in a future episode. I think they even have screenshots somewhere of him leaning against a door frame, looking all boss in the background, crossing his arms.
It's one of those things I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to jump ahead too much.
I just want to see it happen.
Yeah.
But I really liked his character, and I liked that it was a very similar character to Minkus, but it also wasn't just, he's the same person. He's way more eccentric and way more just goofy. And he's the comic relief character, and that's always kind of annoying.
Yeah.
I wasn't annoyed by it though. I was like, this is endearing.
I agree with everything you said, but I also want to give, on this Farkle rant we're going on, big ups to Ben Savage for that scene of physical comedy where Farkle jumps on him and is elbowing him in the face, and he just keeps delivering his lines. I was like, damn, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
But outside of Minkus's kin, Max, what did you think of the cast? Specifically Riley, the daughter, the new girl who meets the world.
Right. Well, she looks like a Matthews, right? She kind of looks like a young Ben Savage, I thought. But I thought she was really good. She's kind of dorky, sort of eager to take on the world, like Cory was back in the day. And then her friend Maya is very much the kind of the successor to Sean Hunter, I think. And I think that's if it's not broken, don't fit, or
Yeah, 100%. I liked them both. I think in your review, Max, you talked a little bit about, some of Riley's lines were cringeworthy or whatever. I think it was not even so much her as an actress.
Definitely. I thought she was amazing.
Yeah, I thought she was really good.
Specifically because she acted like Cory.
Yeah.
And you can see that in her. And it wasn't like, oh, you're trying. It's like, oh, man. Like you said, Max, it felt like a Matthews. That felt good.
Yeah. All right, and so then, how do we feel about this Lucas fellow, this pretty boy with his great bone structure?
I'm not down with this Lucas guy. This is my biggest problem with this entire pilot is if Lucas ends up being the Topanga of this series, I think that's a big problem. He is just the dumb hot guy, and that's not strong enough for the Topanga of this series. But hopefully there is another love interest or something like that fixes this.
Well, no, Max, how did you feel about Lucas?
Well, he was also the weak link for me too, right? But they kind of snuck in this kind of Texas background or something, he's kind of a cowboy kind of kid. But I mean, that didn't really come across in this episode. They had that weird line about rats or something in the subway and how they looked like horses or something like that. But it didn't really play for me. But that's I agree. I think he's kind of the weak link. He's not the flower child like Topanga was.
And that's the problem. Y'all are throwing him under the bus here based on the pilot. We're giving everybody else hall passes that it's going to be okay. Topanga sucked in the first season of Boy Meets World.
True.
I said it.
No, that's
Nobody
true.
liked her.
I mean, the thing is, too, there was so many character changes. Even Cory, he was such he was a cool kid.
Yeah.
He wasn't like dorky, character like that, and then he grows into that. I feel like, what's her name? Riley. Riley is the older Cory, but in his eagerness of being young, but his character at the end of the show.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. Maya's straight up Sean.
Yeah, it's just a carbon copy. She even talks about like her home life being bad, right?
Yeah, and I'm like,
they weren't even pretending to like change that backstory at all.
Yeah, but like Eric Matthews in the original show was a complete idiot.
No, he
at
was
the end.
Exactly. By the end, he was like barely functioning human being. Like, he couldn't put his own socks on. But he was
Mr. Cool Guy.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get some character change. And again, this is the pilot.
Hopefully.
Right, yeah.
This is it. I like it. Hopefully there's character changes. Nope. It's 22 episodes of this. That's it. You get nothing. No growth, no development. And I guess that leads to the big final question, Max. There's a lot more of this Girl Meets World to come. Are you going to keep watching?
Yeah, I think I'm going to keep watching. I'll definitely, if I don't catch every single episode, I will definitely be tuning in for those ones that have cameos of old Boy Meets World characters and stuff like that. I may not be like a religious watcher, but it's definitely, I think I'm going to keep an eye on it for sure.
Sure. Tim?
What about you guys?
I'm in it for sure.
Yeah. It's one of those, I finished it and it was like, but it's like, like I'm in. For me, it's so crazy to see a sequel to a TV show I loved so much years later. You know what I mean? And to think about the fact that Cory and Topanga would have a child this old already, and you're just like, oh, God, we're old.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm definitely in. Any closing thoughts other than that, Max?
No, I'm just definitely I'll keep an eye on it, and I think it could be good.
Tim, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Max, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, what did you think of the pilot for Girl Meets World? You can watch it right now if you go to that DisneyChannel.com. Let us know in the comments. Then make sure you talk to us about if you're going to keep coming back, who your favorite character was, why you love Lucas, other than those dimples. For everything about Girl Meets World, keep it here on IGN.